Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, you know that I like to make a little bit longer videos and about certain topics. And this month is October. Do you know what the month of October is? Yes, there's Halloween. Okay, but did you know that the month of October is Down Syndrome Awareness Month? What is Down syndrome? Well, that is what we are going to learn more about today. So let's get into it. What is Down syndrome? Typically, people are born with 23 pairs of chromosomes. So 23 pairs, which means you have a total of 46. So you and I typically have 46 chromosomes that we're born with. And chromosomes are what make they're our genetic makeup, right? So they form who we are. Now, somebody who is born with Down syndrome actually have an extra chromosome. So instead of 46 chromosomes, they have 47, which makes them pretty unique. Now, anytime you are born with an extra chromosome, or sometimes people are missing a chromosome or missing part of a chromosome, it typically causes some similar, physical changes in them or cognitive changes in them. So that's what we're going to talk about next. So people with Down syndrome have some of similar physical features. Typically, you can tell that they have Down syndrome. Their eyes look a certain way, their face is shaped a certain way. Because they're missing the same chromosome, that's what kind of causes them to have some of the similar physical features. Now, again, they are like you and I in the sense that they have, unique features about them. So not everybody has the same hair color or body type, and people with Down syndrome are the same as you and I in that aspect. But again, they do have some similar physical features on their face. People with Down syndrome also have more of a chance of getting sick. So their immune system is a little bit weaker than, say, a typical child. So they either get sick more or it takes them longer to recover if they get sick. And about half the kids who are born with Down syndrome have some sort of a heart defect. So their heart, something is typically not developed properly in it. Now, what is pretty incredible these days is that they can correct most of those heart defects with surgery. But you have to think that a little tiny baby, having to go through a major surgery like that on their heart is a pretty big deal, and it can be very scary for families who have to go through that. So, again, they are very tough, strong people who have to overcome a lot of challenges. With that being said, they are really, really hard working individuals. So things that come easy to you and I, they sometimes have to work harder at to master. Certain skills that we pick up on, like walking, talking at a certain age, may take them longer to develop. And that's okay because, again, they work really hard. And parents who have kids with Down syndrome work really hard with their child to make sure that they are successful. So they overcome a lot of obstacles and a lot of challenges very, very early on in life, and that's what makes them very unique and pretty awesome. So what I want to do is play a little game of truth or false. Is it true or false? So we'll play a game of true or false, okay? So I'm going to make a statement and I want you to respond with if you think that statement is true or you think that statement is false. Are you ready? All right, let me pull up my notes because I don't want to forget anything important. All right, here we go. So, true or false? People with Down syndrome have severe cognitive delays, meaning that they don't learn the same way that you and I do. Maybe they will never learn the same things that you and I do. Um, they are not smart. So, is that true or false? False. All right. Yes, people with Down syndrome can have some cognitive delays, meaning that they learn at a slower rate or it takes them longer to develop certain things. But that doesn't mean that they can't or they won't. Typically, they're mild to moderate delays, and that they have to just work a little bit harder, and we have to intervene with them at a young age and get them in school sooner and get them in therapy sooner so that they can master those same skills that you and I do. So that is not true that they are not smart, not capable of learning, because they are. All right, next one, true or false? Most people with Down syndrome can live a normal, productive life. True. Yes, people with Down syndrome can live a very productive life, especially nowadays because we work with them at a young age and we get them in school. They can go on to lead a very productive life later on. So, like I said, they go to school like you and I. They participate in sports, so they do. They can be athletic, just like you and I. They can do music. They can do art. They can learn all these wonderful things that you and I learn in school. They can do camps, just like we do. So yes, they can definitely live productive lives, and they can participate in most of the same things that you and I do. All right, next one. True or false? People with Down syndrome will never be able to have a job. False. That is not true. People with Down syndrome can have jobs when they get older, just like you and I. Again, we have to work with them at a young age to teach them specific skills that they can use later on when they find a job. But there are plenty of people who have Down syndrome that work in, businesses. They work in banks. They work in stores and hotels, restaurants. They work everywhere that other people do as well. So, yes, people with Down syndrome can have jobs just like you and I, and they usually do a wonderful job at it. All right, next one. Ooh, this is a good one. You ready? True or false? People with Down syndrome are always joyful and happy with a big smile on their face. Surprise! A lot of you may have said true to that one. False. Guys, are you happy 24/7? I'm not happy 24/7. Okay, people with Down syndrome are just like you and I. They experience the same feelings, the same emotions. They have their ups and downs just like we do. They have good days, they have bad days, they get grumpy. They are just like you and I in the sense that they feel the same emotions that we do. So to assume that somebody who has Down syndrome is always happy and joyful and smiling is false. All right, last one. Let's see. Okay, true or false? People with Down syndrome can have very close relationships with others and friendships with others. True. Yes, guys, people with Down syndrome want to have friends. They want to interact with their peers. They want to go out to recess. They want to play. They want to do sports. They want to be happy and be included just like everybody else. So, yes, they absolutely want to have close relationships with their peers and they want to have friends. And people with Down syndrome can even grow up and get married. So, to assume that they cannot have close relationships and that you shouldn't include them in things is not correct. Yes, they can absolutely have close relationships with others and they want them. They want to have fun, they want to play, they want to be included. So we want to make sure that we're never afraid to ask them to join us when we, are playing or when we're outside at recess or when we're in class. Include them. They want to be included. All right. So we could go on and on and on with true versus false because unfortunately there are a lot of false things being put out there about people who have Down syndrome. And so that is why this month it is really important to focus on educating yourself more about individuals who have Down syndrome. With your parents' permission, you can access websites. There's the Down Syndrome Association that puts out amazing resources and information for people who want to learn more. The purpose of having an awareness month is not that only this month we learn about people who have Down syndrome. No, we want to do that all the time. We want to learn about others and there's so many unique individuals out there that we want to learn more about. But the point of this month is to purposefully educate yourself more and make yourself more aware of things that maybe you didn't know before. So do your research, learn some new things, ask questions. That is the biggest thing. Sometimes we're afraid to ask questions because we don't want to be wrong or we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But if you don't ask questions, then you don't learn. We have some incredible teachers on our campus who can answer questions for you if you have more or you want to learn more about people who have Down syndrome. So you can always talk to your teacher and ask who those people would be. You can write your questions down and I will get answers for you. However it is that you want to make yourself more aware and you want to learn, we support that. So that is the purpose of this month. I hope that you've learned something new and that you realize people who have Down syndrome are pretty amazing and they persevere and they work hard. And we want to make sure that we educate ourselves and we honor them by doing that and by learning more about their uniqueness. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Ask questions, use those big, beautiful brains of yours, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.